Hey everybody, I'm Jaren, and today I am making, this is my first vlog, I suppose. And what I thought I would talk about are kind of how to get into the business if you want to be a singer-songwriter in trance music or electronic dance music in general. Because I've received lots of emails from you guys over the years asking for my advice on how to get a foot in the door. And things are picking up, and so I don't have time as much to answer you guys individually. So I thought let's try to make a video and see if I can kind of explain myself more or less. These are going to be brief because I know if you're serious, you're going to do your research and you're going to figure out a way to understand everything that I'm talking about here. So, starting with tip number 1. Again, I just can't reiterate. This is if you're really serious. If you're planning on getting a song released with a label, you're going to want to sign up as a writer for your country's collection society. In the U.S., I signed up for ASCAP. There are a couple of other ones. Here in Canada, there's SOCAN. I'm going to include some more information on that below, but basically what the Collection Society does is they assign you an international tracking number called an IPI number, and that's going to be a really important way of getting paid. Number 2, figure out a way to record your songs if you haven't already. There are many different ways depending on the budget. When I first started, I had like $0, and so I had these kind of 5 essential things. One, I had a condenser mic, I had an external preamp, a computer, and a recording software. In the beginning I used Pro Tools because I think there was a free version. I have some people using GarageBand, it's just fine. And then you need a quiet place to record because nothing quite ruins a nice vocal like the sound of sirens and helicopters in the background. I know this from experience living in LA next to a police station. So, you can get really creative, obviously, for when you're recording in a quiet space. You don't have to have a studio like this. I've recorded many times in closets, hallways, hanging big comforters on the side around me, just so I don't have echo, because you want a nice, clear vocal. Number 3, make a demo. Make a demo to showcase your ability. There are a couple of ways to do this. In the beginning of my career, I had met my now husband, Matt Surf, and he was just getting going. And so I always recommend that if you're just getting started, try to find other producers that are really getting their foot in the door and really growing, because they tend to be more flexible to work with. And you can ask them, hey, do you have an instrumental lying around that I could throw a top line over? Top line meaning lyrics and melody. Another way to record a demo, and you can't do this for release. You can't release this publicly. This is like big no-no, but I'm just telling you that this is what I've done to showcase my ability to one producer, was that I took an already existing instrumental. It was like a Roykshop instrumental. And I had recorded a top line over it and just sent it to this one producer and said, listen, this is what I can do. Do you want to work together? Fingers crossed. And luckily it worked out. Again, though, no, you don't release stuff that's already been released. You can't do that. That's bad news. Don't do that. Step number 4, contact producers. So what I do is I make a list of the producers that I want to work with. I have to say right now, I have a manager who I've worked with since the very beginning. I love him dearly, so he takes care of most of this. But for the other projects that I have going on, what I do is this. I make a spreadsheet with the information, the name of the producer I want to work with, their contact information, any notes that they may have given me, dates that I've contacted them, etc. It's really important to stay organized. What I do when I contact a producer is I give them a little bit of information about myself, and I keep things very short and concise and as clear as I can, because these guys are getting contacted, you have no idea how many times a day. They're not going to make time to read a 9-pager, I'm telling you what. So what I do is I just say, hi, my name is so-and-so, maybe I've been a fan of yours for a while, but I was wondering, if you would like to collaborate, and then I might include like a link to the work that I've done, maybe a demo or a reel, which is just like maybe 30 seconds of the best portions of different songs that I've done together, again, just to showcase my abilities. Cross your fingers, hope they contact you back. And then I try to contact them once every couple of weeks until I get a definite no, a definite rejection, or a yes. I just like to wear them down until they give in and say, okay, fine, I'll work with you, you crazy lady. That seems to work just fine for me. Number 5, collaborate. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. This is a great way to find out. Another reason collaborating I feel is important is it keeps your writing really fresh. It's easy when you're writing by yourself to get stuck in patterns of melody, patterns of lyrics and rhyme and stuff. So this is a great way to stay fresh as a writer. It's a great way of networking. And if you find that maybe you're better on the lyric side and maybe not as strong on the melody side, then find somebody who has the opposite so you guys can balance each other out. Step 6, educate yourself. Really, learn the basics about music publishing so that you don't get screwed, for one. And this is going to help you to learn the lingo so you know what you're talking about when you're interacting with somebody. There are many, many books about it out there. My favorite is Music, Money, and Success by Jeff and Todd Brabeck. I try to read it once every couple of years to refresh everything, because publishing is just like this ever-expansive, crazy thing. Like, I know it's really important, and the more I know, the more I realize I don't know anything. Step 7, think long-term. This is not an Instacash business, I'm telling you what. I have had songs release 1 or 2, 3 weeks after I record to 1 or 2, 3 years after I recorded. So don't lose your mind on that one. Step 8. Get a foot in the door. Remember, in the beginning, you're going to have to make some compromises. Obviously, you don't want people to walk all over you, so you find your limits and you set them, whatever. But you're not going to make $1 million on your first release. I'm telling you, I don't know who has on their very first release. Yeah, that just comes with kind of experience. Everybody navigates their own way. You know, just talk to other people about how they worked it and be kind to yourself. Everybody makes mistakes. I've made loads. Number 9, be professional. Keep correspondence concise and professional. When you're sending out links to your music, like for instance, it's really easy nowadays to create a Twitter and a Facebook account just solely for your craft, for your songwriting. When you're sending those out, make sure that everything that is associated with those profiles is very professional. You want to include, like maybe some nice pictures of yourself so it looks like you're serious about what you're doing. You don't want to be sending pictures of questionable things. Be on time. If you say you're going to try to turn something in on time, be on time. Nobody wants to wait forever. They'll just move on. They'll forget about you. And be easy to work with. Be flexible. That's a great way of getting more work. If people like to work with you and you like being flexible on things, I think you're going to be in business for a long time. Step 10, don't give up. I know it's hard to give up, especially in the beginning when you're getting your first few rejections, but the way that I found to combat that is to treat rejection as a game. For instance, if I want to better my chances of building my career, let's say, then I might say, okay, if I can collect 20 rejection notices from producers in the next 2 months, then hey, good. That's the goal. And then any yeses I get are going to be like, I'm going to be over the moon ecstatic about them. But then I'm not going to feel so emotionally tied to the rejection. And by the time you get to the point where I've been, rejection just is like, you don't even think about it. Because oftentimes it's not necessarily about you or your writing. It could just mean that it's not a match for this particular producer. Maybe you need to work with somebody else. So I hope that helps. Actually, step number 11, have fun. It becomes really apparent who enjoys what they're doing in this business. I mean, you can see. Look at the DJs. Look at the producers out there who really look like they're having a good time. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty well spot it a mile away. If this helps you at all and you found that you've had some success with this, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. It would make me feel like a proud mama. So, yeah. All right. Thanks for joining me. More information below. Check it out. Take care.